Hello everyone, today I want to show you the new fastest with a skeleton farm for Minecraft 1.11 and 1.12. Yeah, we improved quite a lot to our previous model with a speed of 12.4 skulls per minute, and talking about that, I can directly tell you the numbers. So this farm produces 14.5 skulls per minute in single player and up to 18.1 skulls per minute in multiplayer. So that's pretty fast. We made quite some improvements. And what makes this farm so fast? I will just go ahead and show you what we changed. First of all, I improved the spawning pads. It's still the same length, well, width, but the length is different. It's only 6 long instead of 7 compared to the old model, and that's because we have a wither skeleton sorter here. So as soon as the slime block arrives here, these pistons will trigger and automatically sort out wither skeletons, almost 100% reliable. And how this works is I push in these trapdoors, so the head will be between the trapdoor and the slime block, and at the same when the slime blocks are retracting, these pistons are retracting too, and the wither skeletons can drop down. But since the two high mobs are not kept inside the gap between the trapdoors and the slime block, they will just get transported back to the back and despawn. So this is actually a little bit faster than dropping mobs down and despawning them right here, because obviously the sphere goes up, and right here they would need to drop 2 or even 3 or 4 blocks more than they need to drop in the back. So this is one improvement I made. The other, and since we lose a lot of spawning spaces because it's only 6 wide instead of 7, we needed to add some more. So in that case, we just have, like right in the last model, we have 2 modules next to each other, but at the second layer we have 3 instead. And with that, we actually get around 300 spawning spaces more than the previous farm, and that brings up our spawning spaces up to 3.5k. So, you might be questioning why it's only 6 wide, not 7. That's just because of the push limit. So with the trapdoors and the slime blocks, with 6 wide you have 12 blocks, and that's what you can push with a piston. And then I will just get transported to the middle with a 10 meter per second conveyor, just like in our old farm. The reason why we didn't use a 20 meter per second conveyor is because it wouldn't fit in here. We tried to put it as close to the despawning sphere as possible, and because of that, the wither skeletons, as you can see, we even put cobble fences here, can only drop 2.5 blocks down, and you wouldn't be able to fit a 20 meter per second conveyor here, and it would also be way more laggy. Then the other improvement we made, you can see it directly right here at the 10 meter per second conveyor. We added more pumpkin droppers. So at the short layers, so this first and the third layer, for only 2 modules, we have additional 2 dispensers, one here and one on the other side. So wither skeletons will pick up pumpkins earlier, and we also make sure every single wither skeleton will pick up a pumpkin, even if they pick up a stack. We have another dropper right here, just like in the old version. So that also removes wither skeletons from the mob cap earlier. That also improved the rates. And but since the scorter isn't really 100%, but I think it is. I tested a few hundred mobs at the same time in creative, and it worked, but under certain conditions I think it can still happen that a pigman gets into here, and that's why we still have this trapdoor, and the pigman will just drop down into this drop shaft and down on a hopper line, and we need to get the pumpkins back, so we just build a hopper collection right here. Then the exact same thing, just like in the other one, the wither skeletons get transported up into a 20 meter per second conveyor and transported to the middle. That happens with all the modules. They get transported up, pulled up pretty much at 50 meters per second, and then into a 30 meter per second conveyor elevator, just like in the other version 2. So the main improvements were the added spawning spaces. Then we get rid of the mobs faster, and we also remove wither skeletons from the mob cap faster because we give them pumpkins earlier. So with that, we reached around 13.8 skulls per minute. And after that, 2 days later, Nemon released this video where he showed that if you put nether brick around the spawning spaces, it can improve the spawning of nether fortress mobs by a lot. So we just put these giant platforms around, and that actually upped the efficiency to from 13.7 or 13.8 to 14.5 skulls per minute. So thanks to Nemon. I will probably put a video in the description too. So that really helped a lot too. And then they will get transported up just like in the other design, and the player will kill them up here. And the pumpkins will drop down again and sorted. And now to it's kind of a problem we have. Some pumpkins, why is it laying around here? That never happened. That literally never happened. Okay. We lose some pumpkins. Well, some, it's quite an understatement. We lose more, like around 1.2k per hour for whatever reason. I think some despawn because we have so many pumpkin droppers. We dispense so many pumpkins that not at each dropper one skeleton will spawn and pick them up. And other reasons, I don't know. I just made 20 sorters here to sort them, but still some pumpkins overshoot and get into the cacti, so I don't know how we lose that many. But to fill up the pumpkins again, we lose, so 1.2k. We just build a pumpkin farm below, right here, as you can see, 2 towers, and that's enough to supply the farm with enough pumpkins per hour. It will just trigger around every 3.2 minutes. Oh, just triggered, nice. And the pumpkins will get transported up this elevator and into the sorters as well. So that's how we made this farm that fast. And this will be probably the final version of a wither skeleton farm I built, because this is close to perfect. So I won't work on another design anytime soon. Still, I can think of some improvements you could make. For example, moving the spawning platforms like far out, so around 100 blocks away from the player, because there the sphere is like more horizontal and more vertical, and the places would despawn earlier. Or for example, also just make 1 layer instead of 2, so mobs do not need to drop down a single block. So that's the improvements I can think of. And another thing would be to even dispense some more pumpkins. We actually tested it, and you can get up to 14.8 skulls, I think, per minute if you dispense a few more. But you also lose way more because most of the pumpkins won't get picked up. Okay, back to the pumpkin situation again. The pumpkins actually, as I said, improve the speed in single player by around 3.2 skulls, but they do not improve the speed in multiplayer at all. Since we only have 3.5k spawning spaces, it maybe sounds a lot. It's actually the most so far for the skeleton farm I built, but still, since we removed the mobs that quickly, it's still not enough in theory. In multiplayer, the mob cap is never filled, even without pumpkins. So if you run this farm at twice the mob cap, you can just turn off the pumpkins by adding a lever or a switch. You have these right here, these redstone blocks at each layer. Just push them back, have an extended piston so they won't dispense any pumpkins anymore. So you don't need any pumpkins on multiplayer. It will always be 18.1 skulls per minute, because we are only running at mob cap like 90 or whatever with pumpkins, and without, yeah, it's also still never filled. And in single player, I just want to mention that we are running at mob cap 20% of the time, so that's actually quite a lot. Because we added the additional nether brick, we got it from 11% up to 20%. Alright, yeah, just some information if you want to build this farm. You can build this farm pretty much in any fortress, since it only requires the first two, well, the 5th and the 6th sub-chunks, so no special height and no special size pretty much. You can build it anywhere, it's only 150 blocks diameter, I think, so from one end to the other. So you can build this in any fortress, but you have to make sure that you remove all the bedrock above the farm, so above the white slabs. So yeah, that's the requirements you need, but other than that, you can build it anywhere. That's also pretty nice in my opinion. So no need to search for a special fortress, just build it wherever you want to. Okay, I hope I mentioned everything, and I hope you liked the farm. Yeah, write your feedback in the comments, and see you next time. Bye!